In this video, I'm gonna give you a brief review of the Audio 2000's wireless in-ear monitor system. I'm a worship leader at a church, and we have a 4-piece band, and I sing and I play acoustic guitar, and I just need to hear the rest of my band so I can lead them effectively. So in-ear monitoring is crucial to our setup, and I've tried out a lot of different wireless in-ear monitor solutions. This one stood out to me because of the price point. I picked this up on Amazon with shipping included for around $170 for the transmitter and the receiver pack. And I think that's a phenomenal price for wireless in-ear monitoring because the entry-level monitoring systems from Shure or Sennheiser cost anywhere from $700 to $1,000, and that's just for one system. And when I came across the Audio 2000 system on Amazon, I thought it was too good to be true, but there were plenty of 5-star reviews for this product, so I thought I would give it a try myself. And I did. For the past couple weeks, I've been using it at my church, and I've been very pleased with the results. So here's my verdict on this product. First, I'll just come out and say I do think this is worth the price tag. It is only a quarter of the price of these other systems that are out on the market. Second, I will say it does not sound as clear as these higher end systems like the Shure PSM 300 or the Sennheiser EW series. You do get what you pay for when you pay more money for wireless in-ear monitoring. But despite the price of this being a fraction, let's say 25% of the price of some comparable systems like the Shure PSM 300 or the Sennheiser EWs, the sound quality is at least 85 to 90% when it comes to comparing it to those other systems. So I think it's a worthwhile investment. You do get really great value for what you're paying for here, but you just can't expect it to sound as great as these other systems that have much better build quality and just better technology when it comes to RF and how they're transmitting these signals. So I think if you're looking for a budget-friendly solution for wireless in-ear monitoring, I do think this is worth a try, and I would start with 1 or maybe 2 of these systems at most and make sure that it really does work well in your environment before you go buying a bunch of these for your whole band. And I always advocate, if you're really on a tight budget for in-ear monitoring for your band, just get the wireless solutions for band members who actually need it and who are mobile on stage, like the people who are leading songs on the front of the stage. And for you musicians who are on the back of the stage, I would recommend just using wired headphone amps like the Behringer P1 or P2 or the PM1. There's a ton of super inexpensive headphone amps that your musicians can use, and they can be wired into the system and it works just fine. That's what we do at our church. So I think this is great for your band if you're trying to transition to wireless in-ear monitor systems and you just want to try out 1 or 2 of these systems at an incredible price. And let me explain what our setup was like when I actually used this at my church. So our stage box is on stage with our band, and that's where we have our wireless mic units and our other wireless in-ear monitor units. So I put this unit, the Audio 2000's unit, on top of that stage box. So it was very close to our band. It's not like it's trying to broadcast the signal a very long ways. So I tried it the first week by placing this transmitter there, and it worked great. And then I also tried it the next week back in the sound booth. I put this transmitter next to our mixing console, which is only maybe 50 to 60 feet away from our stage. And when the congregation is there's a bunch of people standing in front of this and the stage, but it still worked fine. I did notice, I think, a few more random dropouts. And then I put it back on the stage again. And then thankfully, one of the commenters here on our YouTube channel let me know that on the back of this unit, it has a switch for RF power, and some reason when you get it, it's on low, and they actually have a little thing that like locks it in place on low with a screw. So what I did is I took that off and I just turned up the RF power. I put it back on the stage box on our stage, and I noticed there's no dropouts in signal. So my main complaint when it comes to signal on this system is that there's just some very light background static, which is pretty much not noticeable at all when you're singing and playing and the full band is going. You just notice it when nothing's really happening. So you hear some of that, just that very light static in the background. And then my second sort of complaint about this system, audio quality wise, has to do with just sort of this like weird over compressed sound that I get, and I'm still working on dialing in my mix with this system. But I found especially the input on the back of this transmitter, so coming from our stage box, it's sending in my monitor feeds here. The input is just like super hot, so I had to actually turn down the mix bus output on our mixer so that it wouldn't be just constantly clipping on this. Even though it has a gain boost here, I just kept it on 0 decibels because it was way too hot. I have the master output on my mix bus down to like 50%. So nothing's clipping, but it still kind of sounds like pretty compressed. I just don't feel like I have as much headroom as I do when I'm using the higher end Sennheiser system that we also use. But other than some of that light background noise and that sort of wonky compressed sound that I get from this system, I'm really happy with it, especially because I'm actually able to run stereo in-ear monitoring. It sounds great. So we have 2 inputs on the back of this transmitter here. So on our Midas sound console, I'm able to create a stereo mix for my monitors, and the ability to be able to pan things to the left or the right of my ears really helps a lot. And one final note about this system, you'll find that the build quality is so-so. You know, it's a very plasticky belt pack here. The transmitter feels pretty solid. It's all metal. But the belt packs, when I compare these to other belt packs, again by Shure or Sennheiser, it just kind of feels like it could break pretty easily. But battery life worked fine, and you have some simple controls on here for channels, and you can even switch some EQ presets on it. I just keep it on 1 on the flat EQ preset. But that's about it. There's really nothing too complicated about this system, and I highly recommend giving it a try if you're looking for a budget-friendly solution. I'll just try 1 or 2 of them at most for your frontline musicians who are on the front of the stage and need that mobility, and then go from there. See if it's gonna be a good long-term solution for your ministry. Below this video, you're gonna find a link to this in-ear monitoring system and a link to our worship ministry toolkit, which contains a list of all of my recommended gear for worship ministry. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful, smash that like button and share it with your friends in ministry. You can check out some related videos right on over here, and don't forget to subscribe to the Church Front channel so you can continue to receive all of our latest content to help you grow yourself and grow your worship ministry.